The second reason is that I've only ever managed to venture past 3 months without any form of ejaculation once in my entire life.
What? Bro! Yo! He nuts every 3 months. No! I was kidding! I live in a socialist hellscape. This is real freedom. No, real freedom is the freedom to find a new NoFap strategy.
Today I want to give you a NoFap tip that I haven't really seen elsewhere, but it's something that I've been experimenting with myself. I'll also be giving you an additional tip at the end of this video, so make sure you watch till the very end. Now for the first tip, let me explain to you how it works.
Thank God, bro. I was literally waiting. I was like, what? Fuck, man. NoFap is great. I love it, but like I need some tips. It's like really hard. It's really hard to do NoFap, you know?
Works. Basically, instead of focusing on maintaining a
Someone if they just said Lexapro. That's pretty funny.
streak, what if you try to focus on the percentage of time that you've succeeded? Instead of aiming for 100% perfection, what if you simply aimed for 95% plus? The reason why I think this might be better is because we humans are simply not perfect. Unexpected things come up, life likes to throw curveballs, shit happens. We mess up from time to
Guys, he's talking about masturbating. I want you to understand, he's talking about accidentally giving in and masturbating. This is a video that gives you helpful tips on how to stop permanently masturbating.
time. But if you messed up for just one day, honestly, how much progress have you really lost? If you've been working out for 3 months and you miss one day, does that mean that you've lost all the gains that you've made? No, it really doesn't. You lost a bit of progress,
True.
Sure. But in the big scheme of things, nothing much has changed. You've still been hitting the gym for 3 months, which is great. The same sort of thinking can be applied to NoFap. Let's say you're someone who used to jerk off every day, and you decide to embark on the NoFap journey. You haven't fapped for weeks, but then one day something happens and you slip up just once. How much progress?
Dude, jerking off every day is normal, is healthy. What the fuck? Like, I'm so confused by this. Motherfuckers talking about NoFap like I talk about, setting up a healthy diet. Setting up a healthy diet for yourself and a healthy gym schedule for yourself. Is he dead ass? No, he is dead ass. Yeah, he's over here describing like normal concepts that exist in like self-help circles, but also can be genuinely helpful. Like this is like a fucking 5-step program for masturbation. You not a real porn addict, little bro? Yeah, I'm not a gooner if that's what you mean. I know I'm not. I don't understand. I guess maybe because like I come from probably the last generation that had a hard time finding porn. So now it's like it's very different. Like I feel like this is a purely like maybe young millennial and Zoomer Generation Alpha phenomena. This idea of like NoFap taking root. I legitimately believe this. I think it's because of the actual unhealthy consequences of having unfiltered, unadulterated pornographic material readily accessible at the palm of your hand at an early age. Because I have no idea what I would be like if I could just like, pull out Pornhub when I was 13. Holy moly. I mean, I probably wouldn't do shit. I'd probably be gooning. I would literally be the king goon, okay? I'd be a gooner. It's puritanical nonsense. No, I think like, their solutions is puritanical nonsense, certainly. But having said that, I think that there's probably an issue with like kids having access to just as much porn as you can possibly consume throughout the day. That's probably not healthy. I will admit that. You know what's really funny about that kind of stuff? The real filter that stopped people like myself from developing an unhealthy attitude towards porn wasn't necessarily the thousands of different like old wives' tales that people told, like your palms will become hairy, like you're breaking out in zits, you'll go blind if you masturbate. All that stuff obviously was nothing in comparison to the beautiful tug, okay? The tug was too great. It felt too good. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, am I going to be blind? Okay, I guess I'm going to be blind then. Can't stop me, bitch. I'm going to be the blindest gooner you've ever seen, okay? Now, having said that, like the religious guilt or whatever the fuck, that never worked on me. What worked on me was how difficult it was to find That's it. Don't act like you were a porn addict, little ass Da Vinci drawing his own Mona Lisa to goon over. Degenerate. You should be ashamed. You're not getting raptured.
Have you really lost? I would say not much, and that in the big scheme of things, you've actually managed to reduce the amount of times you fap significantly. You should be feeling happy and proud, not guilty and sad. One of the biggest problems that I've noticed when people focus on streaks is the especially harsh downward spiral that it often leads people down if they do slip up. You feel as if you've lost all the progress you've made so far and that you might as well keep doing it, because why not?
Bro, this is so fucking sad. He's literally talking about, he's giving you like actual self-help advice and like actual advice that addicts could benefit from, but it's about masturbating to porn and like engaging in NoFap. It's part of this. Here's the thing. He's talking about relapsing, and what he's relapsing is like masturbating. Insane. I'm 2 hours sober. Shut the fuck up. You're not a real gooner if you're 2 hours sober.
There's nothing else to lose. There's no 10-day, 30-day, 60-day streak that you have to defend.
Dude, the best is, one of the worst parts about Twitch streaming for me has been, I can't hit that midday fap. It feels so good when you just get a day off, you know, and you just get in there midday, maybe even take a nap afterwards. Oh my God, that's heaven right there. I would never deny you of that earthly privilege. A little nap and fap, a little fap and nap.
But the truth of the matter is, oftentimes, that's where the most damage is done. Slipping up once might not make much of a difference, but going on a FAP marathon and doing it multiple times a day for a week straight.
Okay, this is, first of all, why are the napkins yellow? Ew. Secondly, yeah, if you're like literally fucking unable to control yourself, holy shit. I feel like a lot of these dudes are actually like chronically addicted to the thrills of gooning. You know what I mean? Like maybe these guys should stop, right? I just don't like it when they're talking about like how everybody needs to stop and what the advantages are of NoFap. Like I get very annoyed about it when they talk about this like insane shit, like about how your semen is where you store all of your testosterone, and if you don't jerk off, you like, you know, you become more powerful. You can fucking levitate and shit. Like shut the fuck up. You're out of your mind.
Definitely causes you to lose a lot, if not all, of the progress you've made so far, which is why I think it could be helpful to have a system in place to prevent the binging. Let me explain to you how this would work. Let's say you've been staying clean for 9 days, and on day 10, you slip up. If we look at this from the typical streak point of view, you've already failed. But if we switch to a percentage way of keeping track, missing 1 day out of 10 only means that you've dropped from 100% to 90%. Yes, it still stings a bit, but it doesn't feel nearly as bad as going from 100% straight down to 0, which is what essentially happens when you focus on maintaining a perfect streak. And the great thing about the percentage-based mindset is that if you pull yourself back together and avoid fapping for the next 5 days, you'll rise back to a 93%. You actually have a chance to recover from the fall. You have an incentive to get up quickly and try again. With a percentage-based system, every time you slip up, you can see yourself losing more progress. But at the same time, you're being given a chance to recover. With a streak system, you become obsessed with...
Like, you know what's unhealthy? Having this negative of a relationship with masturbating. It's ironic because, like, the old Puritans couldn't even dream of a way to have a future where, like, dudes were telling other dudes not to masturbate vociferously. We got down to a point where we're telling each other, it's like, you know, don't do it.
All or nothing. With a percentage-based system, you understand that mistakes happen, and when they do, you have a reason to get back up to defend the progress you've made so far. Now, it's important to note that in order for a percentage-based system to work, you cannot reset your percentage whenever you want. You have to accept the days you've messed up, or else you will just binge and reset it whenever, like what tends to happen when you try to go for a perfect streak. I recommend resetting just once a year on a memorable day like New Year's or your birthday. Now, I know some...
What? He says masturbate only on New Year's or on your birthday? What? Bro, what is happening, bro? Bro, this is... What the fuck? No, reset the timer. I guess like you can just hit reset as in be like, okay, so he's basically saying nut one last time before you hit the reset on your birthday. That's what he's saying. Because the entire purpose of a fucking reset is you fire one off. So he's not saying jerk off on your birthday. He's saying jerk off one day before your birthday and then hit the reset.
Some of you might be thinking, this won't work for me. I'm extremely addicted. I cannot let myself slip up even once. And to that I would say, yes, this is not a cure-all. It's not going to work for everyone, but it is another way of approaching NoFap. I think that this strategy is something that's worth considering, especially if you are prone to binging after messing up just once. And if it doesn't work, no problem. You can always go back to the old strategy.
Dude, how the fuck do you just like, what? You go on Instagram and you see one titty and you're like, I have to go. What is going on? How can someone be like that? I don't understand it. Are there people actually like this, or are they just like making jokes? I don't know if it's a good thing to let dudes like that not tug it, dude. If you're that horny, it's probably best you fucking let that out of you, dude. You let that evil out. I'm not even kidding. Like at first I was like, oh wow, like that's crazy. But also I was talking about his dick like it's meth. Yeah, dude, you gotta get that evil out of you, brother. I don't know what kind of societal ills you will cause if you keep that evil in you, okay? If you go on Instagram and immediately fucking feel the need to jerk off, I feel like if you go NoFap for an extended period of time, you are eventually going to feel the need to masturbate in public when you, I don't know, when the grocery store clerk tells you to have a good day, okay? Like the old lady Walmart greeter called me handsome. I have to masturbate. Like I have to literally, I'm whipping it out and I'm jerking off. I'm tugging it. I'm jeeking it right at the fucking, right in front of the automatic doors at Walmart in Dayton, Ohio. Okay. Shit, I'm making eye contact with the lady. She called me sugar. What is happening? How do you get to this point? I don't get it. What the fuck? This NoFap porn addicted bullshit all stems from an unhealthy view of their own sexuality. No one is binging porn for a week if they're not fueled by shame. Also, porn/sex addiction became popularized under the Bush admin by the religious right. Went mainstream with the Tiger Woods affair. Yeah.
And aim for a perfect streak. Now, some of you might also be thinking, well, what about the benefits? Don't you lose them all if you don't maintain a perfect streak? Well, to be honest with you, I don't have a perfect streak. I do slip up here and there. It usually happens when I party a bit too hard, but overall, I do have a 95% plus success rate for this year. And
what does that even mean? Party a bit too hard? But there is something diabolical about counting the days that you haven't masturbated in that year. Oh, damn. October 24th. He went the whole year masturbating only a handful of times.
Feel great. I'm still getting all of the benefits, the energy, the confidence, the productivity. It's all still there. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying my best to keep this number as high as possible every year, but I honestly don't feel bad at all if I do happen to slip up from time to time. I feel like a decent amount of negative effects that come from fapping actually stem from the negative self-talk and guilt that comes when we do happen to slip up. Yes, watching porn.
I love that. You said careful. You've discovered moderation. I don't think he's discovered it. So what happens, like when you party hard, you get like sad or something? Is that what it is? Like, or like you lose control of oneself and you're just like, I have to hit it. I have to hit the crank pipe. You know what I mean?
Porn messes with your brain. You should avoid that as much as possible. But I think the negative self-talk that comes from slipping up can be just as bad.
I've never seen a video with such good self-help advice for something that is so categorically bad for self-help or helping you. The idea of like developing healthy habits through repetition and not really beating yourself up, no pun intended, when you actually do fail, only to, think about the larger picture and focus on your accomplishments is actually really good self-help advice. The only problem is he ties this back into his insanely unhealthy relationship with sex and sexuality and masturbation. Thank you, Zach. You're right. It's like Zach says, it's like self-help to stop yourself from being gay. Yeah, literally. Like, it's fine. It's fine to jerk off, man. What the fuck's going on? Like, you should never feel ashamed. It's incredibly healthy. If anything, a big part of the difficulties that we currently experience in contemporary society with respect to interpersonal relationships and communication between men and women, unironically, revolves around women's sexualities being historically and still to this day being repressed. There are adult women that live on this planet right now, a lot of them, as a matter of fact, who have never masturbated. I'm willing to bet there's not adult men. Like, if you look at the percentage of adult women, there was somehow a study conducted, I would bet that the percentage of adult women that have never masturbated would be significantly higher. Actually, there are studies on this. I don't know why I'm saying I'm willing to bet or whatever the fuck. I have seen studies on this. Why is there a major disparity? Is it because women aren't horny? They're horny as fuck. Why are they not flicking the bean? It's because society is designed around controlling what women can and can't do to their bodies, all the way from Roe v. Wade down to not masturbating, not having enough adequate sex health opportunities to learn, a tremendous amount of shame in our culture for that sort of behavior, that shame being completely normalized for women in particular. That's why I'm telling you, there's no way that, well, let's see, according to the National Institute of Health, masturbation prevalence, frequency, reasons, and associations with partner sex in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. No, this is a specific time frame, though. Anyway, let's continue with this.
The second tip I have for you today addresses this, but before I do that, here's a quick word from the sponsors of today's video. This episode is brought to you by BlockerX. Embarking on the NoFap journey can give you a wide range of benefits. Big at hand.
Bro, capitalism is fucking nutso, dude. Hey, your manic ideas, your manic fucking behavior, and your really unhealthy, the really unhealthy relationship you have with something that is like literally self-help, and the most self-help you can. Well, let me help you not engage in self-help. Use BlockerX to quit porn. Jesus Christ.
The second tip I have for you is something that I've also been experimenting with. You might have noticed it throughout the video, and it's the fact that I don't use the word relapse. I prefer to use something like slipping or falling, and that's because I believe that words have power. A word like relapse makes me think of a heroin addict in some...
There it is. Bro, everyone's a liberal. No, I don't think he believes English is magic, chat. No, you do this shit too. No, this is like, oh, we shouldn't call people homeless. We should call them houseless or devoid of shelter. That's what this is. Except he's doing it for porn addiction. He's liberalizing the language, and he's basically, he's doing The Secret, okay? But for NoFap, oh God, this is the perfect video. I don't know who sent this to me, but thank you. This is the perfect video. If this video was not made for NoFap and made for alcoholism, I 100% would say this is a great video. I agree with all of it, including this part where he says it's better to reframe it instead of relapse, which seems so final, to slipping up, which means you can get back up. He's not wrong. If this video was about like alcohol addiction or heroin even, which is ironic, obviously there's different steps for heroin addiction, but like ironic that he has like such a dehumanizing way of talking about heroin addicts. But
dark room, passed out with a needle in his hand, which only made me feel worse about myself every time I would use it to describe having jerked off. These strong negative emotions that came from this image only made me want to fap even more every time I...
What? Thinking of myself like a heroin addict is so hot. I need to fap again. Bro, this dude faps at a light breeze, brother. This level of hatred over something so normal and healthy can only happen if you have incredibly fucking repressed botanical hatred for masturbation that came as a consequence of your early religious indoctrination. There is no fucking shot. If we had better sex education, motherfuckers would not be running like this. That's crazy, man. This is so unhealthy. To have this relationship with masturbation is unhealthy. It's unhealthy to have this relationship with masturbation, and I think he needs to extrapolate on his like actually healthy self-help advice and recognize that perhaps the pure disgust that he feels for masturbating, calling it like slipping up or acting like it's something bad, is what's causing him to fucking constantly fap, where it unironically turns into an unhealthy obsession. You see what I'm saying? You're obsessed, brother. I don't get it.
I failed. When I use a more playful word like slipping up, I imagine some guy in a restaurant slipping on the wet floor because he didn't notice the wet floor sign.
And then I get horny again and immediately masturbate.
This entire scene to me is actually kind of funny. Like, he should have been more aware, as compared to the scene of the heroin addict, which is just kind of sad. You can even take this further by using a truly ridiculous word, like another phrase that I've been using, I made an oopsie, which is just so silly that I can't help but chuckle when I realized I've messed up. It makes me feel like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just an oopsie. It's not the end of the world, so get back up and focus. I think it's important to not obsess about NoFap so much. The people who truly succeed are the ones that can move on with their life and not think about NoFap every single day. Sure, they might slip up from time to time, but it's no big deal for them. They stand back up, make a mental note that they should stop, and continue on with the rest of their life. Now, both of these tips are things that I've only been experimenting with great success. I hope some of you try them out, and if you do...
Do I have like a superpower? When a man lacks purpose, he distracts himself with pleasures. Yeah, Madi B, what kind of purpose do you have in your life? You know what I mean?
My name is Manit. I am a...
Oh, he's teaching young men self-improvement. That's his purpose. Oh, wow. You're a grifter, but just an unsuccessful one. God damn it, dude. What the fuck is wrong with this world? This is correct. It may take years of applying yourself to quitting any addiction. Eventually, the relapses have larger gaps between them until those gaps are months long. Honestly, once you're in that far, you'll probably have a flat line anyway and won't even feel the desire to go back because you'll be too depressed. Dude, there's something so insane about all of this. The NoFap benefits timeline. Oh my God, I have to see this.
Improvement.
By the way, the funniest part about this video is that this guy's actually very talented. Like, I really vibe with his drawings. I'm not even kidding. His art is great. Like, he can draw. He draws very well. You know his ass was drawing the grossest shit to jerk off to. That's all I'm going to say. Number one. Like, you know his ass was... You think my shit was bad when I told you about that one time that I drew titties to jerk off to in Turkey because porn is not accessible? This motherfucker, whoo, you know his ass was drawing some crazy shit, okay? I'm talking Velma and Scooby, okay? Futa, Velma with Scooby. No, I don't mean with Shaggy, motherfucker. I meant Futa, Velma with Scooby.
Bill here. When I first started my NoFap journey, I actually documented my experiences in a journal. I had amazing streaks where I not only abstained from porn and masturbation, but ejaculation as well, mainly because I was single. And I recorded all of the benefits I saw whenever they came up. So because
Wait, this dude has a girlfriend and is still doing NoFap? Like, what's happening? How are these videos not age restricted? You want Chinese Communist Party YouTube to fucking age restrict these videos? These videos are for all ages. Children need to learn how to do NoFap.
Nut November is coming around again, I decided to dig up my old journal entries to give you an idea of what benefits I saw throughout this journey. Hopefully, this will motivate and inspire some of you to take on this challenge, because it genuinely...
Bro, low key though, like Chinese firewall is so adequate. It's so good. I know they got their own fucking set of problems out there, but like, let me tell you, it's probably not NoFap, okay?
Changed my life, and I know it can do the same for you if you give it a try. This is...
They show these videos in Florida schools. Bro, if he has a girlfriend and she finds this, yeah, he said, had a girlfriend.
Is the NoFap/No Nut November benefit timeline. The first 48 hours, days 1 and 2. Okay, so this was always the...
Wait, what? How? Bro, okay, this doesn't make any sense. What? That was that hard for you to not jerk off? How old is this dude? Is this dude like fucking 15? What's happening? What? Listen, I jerk off daily. But I can go the distance, you know what I mean? Like, I can go at least for like 4 to 5 days before I'm like, well, I have to do it. You know what I mean? What do you mean 48 hours, bro? He's talking about masturbation like he's a heroin addict, dude. He's literally like, I got the shakes, brother. 48 hours without no nut. What the fuck? You're 32 though, kind of different. I mean, even at my like horniest, I feel like I could easily do 48 hours. And by the way, I said 4 to 5 days, but like, 4 to 5 days and I'm getting the shakes, okay? The point is, it's wild to not be able to withstand 48 hours. It's funny though, because that, like the first time back on the pole, oh my God, dude, that shit hits. Okay? It is, in a way, kind of like cigarettes. Your first cigarette that you, look, I haven't smoked in years, right? And I have no desire to do so. I can talk about this with ease. But like back in the day when I used to try to quit and I'd go for like a months, whatever, that fucking first time you smoke was just, oh God, incredible. Same difference with masturbation, except unlike smoking, there are no negative health consequences. And there are only positive ones, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? First FAP after a week at church camp was straight up nirvana. Yeah, dude, you fucking touch God at that point.
The toughest period for me. The urges were strong, and there was always a ton of brain fog. I had a hard time thinking clearly, and I found myself stuttering a lot during conversations. This was actually the period of time.
What the fuck? Wait. I have to run that back. Bro, every part of this video is a fucking gem. Homie said 48 hours of not jerking off. And he was literally getting the shakes.
For me, the urges were strong, and there was always a ton of brain fog. I had a hard time thinking clearly, and I found myself stuttering a lot during conversations. This was actually the period of time.
Dude, this is why. Dude, listen. I have said this before. Okay? This is why I always say, the dudes that fucking talk about NoFap actually are probably better off NoFapping, okay? Because, like, if you got that level, like, if you're stuttering because you couldn't masturbate for 48 hours, like, bro, homie's talking about it like he had a fucking school project that he needed to finish, and literally it, like, caused him to stutter, and he couldn't operate normally. He had, like, cum brain.
That I relapsed the most into, especially if I stayed indoors and didn't have any plans for the day. Because there's so much brain fog, I had less self-awareness. So I didn't even notice myself slipping into the state that ultimately caused me to relapse many, many times. It almost felt like I didn't know what I was doing until I had already done it. The only benefits I really saw in the first 48 hours...
Bro. Bro's a gooner, 100%, dude. Dude, that's so funny. Like, I get into this fucking haze where I don't know what I'm doing, and then before I realize it, I've nutted, and he gets the post-nut clarity. Dude, I love this guy.
Would be an increase in my brain's clarity as the fog slowly started to fade away. My most effective strategy during this time was to physically get out of the house, go to the gym, go see a friend, go do some errands, go do some work or study at the local Starbucks, because staying in the house all day usually meant I would relapse again. The next 48 hours, also known as days 3 and 4. The next 2 days, days 3 and 4, came with some pretty noticeable benefits. The most apparent was a significant boost to my levels of self-esteem. I usually felt bad about what I had done the first 2 days after a relapse. I would have thoughts like, oh, I'm such a failure. Why am I so weak? I'm pathetic. And this wasn't a good thing.
We've ruined white people. There is nothing more permanently ruined than a suburban upper middle class white kid. Man, specifically. Their situation is so normal and banal that they literally have, like, they are victims of they're victims of the prosperity that was designed for them, like a society that was designed around their needs. That, like, this motherfucker has nothing else going on in his life, so much so that this is his problem, dude, that he's, like, inventing problems for himself. I could not imagine, dude. I cannot fucking imagine. Yo, get bullied, dog. Please, get bullied. Go to school, get bullied. Here's how you fix the NoFap issue, okay? Make real issues for yourself. Okay, go to school. Be afraid of the bully, you know? Find a new exit route for yourself. Get into a fight. Be afraid at the end of the school day that, like, they're going to beat your fucking ass or something. That way, Your mind is actually occupied with something, so you're not like fucking inventing new ways of making yourself feel shameful when society's making you feel shameful to exist anyway. What the fuck? He's gonna accidentally jizz all over the bully. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, the bully punches him and he immediately nuts. Like, immediately.
Because whenever I was outside at a social outing, my levels of confidence were pretty much non-existent because of these thoughts. It was so bad that I would come up with excuses to skip out on these events because of all the guilt and shame. But when I reached days 3 and 4, I found that those thoughts became much less common, and this meant that I was a lot more confident in myself. I found myself doing much better during social interactions. I found myself being able to hold longer eye contact. I was more lively, I had more fun, and it seemed like others enjoyed my company more than usual. Days 5 and 6. It's around this point where my energy levels started to become noticeably higher. It became much easier to jump out of bed and get the day started. I found myself being able to accomplish most of the tasks I had set out to do for the
This cannot be many people. Yeah, 4 million views, chatter. Internet was a mistake, brother. Holy shit. I've been NoFap for 9 months and the benefits I'm receiving are glowing face, no depression, the world seems more bright and vivid, more energy, vivid dreams. Okay, you know what he's talking about? He's talking about he's nutting in his sleep, okay?
The day before the day was over. When I was off the wagon, when I was in periods of relapse, I usually struggled with sticking to all the other good habits that I knew I should have been sticking to, like meditation, reading, and going to the gym. But upon reaching days 5 and 6, I actually wanted to educate myself. I actually wanted to lift heavy things. I actually wanted to improve my mental strength. I actually wanted to get things done. My self-esteem continued to grow at this point.
How about you do all that while masturbating like once a day? I don't get it. How long could it take? Like, how many times was this guy tugging it? Dude, I wanna interview this guy. I wanna get this guy on the stream and just ask him, like, how many times were you jeeking it, my boy? What the fuck is going on? Like, it was rendering you useless, like a lifeless husk. It takes 60 minutes just to set up the goon cave. He's like, bro, I got asked a question in a debate and I nutted.
As I noticed myself having even less negative thoughts throughout the day, and as I started feeling proud of all.
So what does he do? Does he not fuck his girlfriend? Like, that's another question I have. Like, or does it just mean like you can't masturbate? Like, you can have sex with your girlfriend? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think a guy who has a channel called Improvement Pill that has written so much about NoFap benefits probably has a girlfriend. But having said that, I feel like maybe he does, because there is something likable about him in spite of all of this. Like, he doesn't come across as one of those right-wing fucking freaks immediately, despite the fact that what he's currently talking about is usually subject matter covered by right-wing freaks. I've never watched a video like this where I actually felt like the person was genuinely likable. When you don't think about what he's talking about, which is NoFap, all of a sudden, if you just look at like some of the self-help advice he's giving or some of his drawings, you're like, you know what? He's like a nice person.
All the things that I was able to accomplish.
He also does have a very positive disposition. Exactly.
Day 7. Now, this is a very special day with very, very noticeable benefits. A Chinese study actually found that for some reason, on day 7, from abstaining from any form of ejaculation, our testosterone levels spiked to 145% of their baseline levels.
What?
And boy, oh boy, this extra 45% is definitely noticeable. Most people would expect one to feel more hot-headed and aggressive with all that extra testosterone. But honestly, it didn't feel like that. The best way to describe day 7 for me is, in charge. Like the kingpin of a mob. Like you know everything is going to go your way, and that the world is your oyster. I found myself taking more initiative, going out of my way to make plans with others, setting up parties, asking people to come eat with me, and re-sparking conversations with childhood friends that I haven't spoken to in a while. There was a...
Bro, what? I can't tell. Like, why don't you just do that while also masturbating? Like, I don't understand. Like, the question I have is, does he not fuck his girlfriend? Because, you know, having sex with your girlfriend is kind of like having someone else masturbate for you. You know what I mean? Like, instead of your hand, now you're using your girlfriend's body, I guess. Consensually, of course. I'm trying to... It sounds gross when I describe it this way, but like you're still nutting. So what's the deal? What's the deal? It's different. You know that. First of all, of course it's different. Of course it's different. You should still masturbate, even if you have a girlfriend. Perfectly fine. Perfectly normal. Okay? Masturbation is perfectly normal, perfectly healthy. Okay? My point is, he is talking about the benefits of not nutting. Doesn't matter that he's like tugging it, or it doesn't matter if he's fucking his girlfriend. He's talking about the advantages of not nutting, which means that he probably can't fuck his girlfriend either. Yeah, he said no ejaculation at all.
Strong sense of calm that enveloped my entire being whenever I got to around day 7 and day 8. One of my journal entries recalls a day where I had to give a 20-minute presentation in front of class all by myself. This was something that usually would have made me very nervous, but that day I felt nothing. I wasn't scared whatsoever. It was just another walk in the park. Days 7 and 8 were also where I started taking more initiative with my dating life. Another journal entry recalls an experience where I was working out at the gym and I spotted a cute girl and I literally could not stop myself from going up to her and chatting her up. It felt wrong to not talk to her. Like I said, it felt like the world is your oyster, like everything was going to go your way. So all the self-doubt that would have...
I don't get it. Like, bro, maybe you're horny. Like, BG intercourse can occur without B ejaculation. Is this actually him just accepting his chastity fantasy fetish? Imagine making an entire very well-produced video series because you don't understand the placebo effect. Brother, this got 4 million views. I'm going to point this again, okay?
Have usually filled my head in moments like this, they were non-existent. One very important...
This is a good take. This guy overly complicated every single activity he does. I can feel his anxiety in the way he describes his days and social interactions. Yeah, I think he has that anxiety already, and he's worsened it by just like not masturbating.
Thing to note is that the urges on day 7 and 8 are incredibly erratic. They came in intense waves throughout the day. I always had to get out of the house and spend the majority of the day outside in order to make sure I could make it past those 2 days. And unfortunately, after day 7 and 8, most of these benefits would seemingly disappear overnight. But think of it as a teaser for what truly awaits you if...
Bro, my AirPods just died and my family heard 5 seconds of the convo. I mean, you could tell your mom and dad that this dude is kind of crazy. I think your mom and dad would agree.
If you continue on this journey. 2 weeks in. About 2 weeks in, I started to develop what I like to call social balls of steel. I became extremely confident when it came to social interactions. I found myself holding prolonged eye contact with people. I also found myself saying whatever came to mind. I became more blunt and honest with those around me, not being scared to state...
He's describing being irritable and like kind of losing his mind a little bit.
How I truly felt about things or how I truly felt about someone. And this actually led to deeper conversations, as people were more willing to share their true feelings and whatever was going on in their mind with me. To top that off, the urge to talk to people in general would increase drastically. I found myself sparking random conversations with almost every single person.
He's like, bro, I didn't jerk off for 7 to 8 days and I became so annoying. But because I have no self-awareness, I thought everybody loved it.
Person that was in my vicinity, in the elevator, on the bus, on the train.
He's like, I became bipolar by not masturbating for 8 days. And what I'm describing now is having a manic attack. Suddenly felt like I could fly.
It didn't matter. If they were next to me for an extended period of time, I was going to start some sort of conversation with them. Now, before I tell you about the amazing benefits I saw around the 1 month mark, I do want to quickly tell you about a free training that I'll be hosting next week, where I'll be sharing
my God. Okay, wait, I actually kind of want to see it.
To overcome my bad addictions, and also how I was able to build life-changing habits that actually stuck.
God damn it, I hate that like he actually unironically nails healthy habit building better than like Jordan Peterson and like 90% of these fucking scammers. Okay, that's the worst aspect of it. It's that he's actually very talented as someone who's you know, like his drawings are great, his art is great. I think he's a pretty good narrator too. And worst of all, his advice as far as building healthy habits are good. The only issue is that he's talking about masturbation. What the fuck is going on?
Around All you have to do is sign up for my mailing list to receive updates about this training.
His drawings are great because he was way too horny and didn't have internet.
And don't worry if you're watching this video at a later time, because I plan on hosting this training a couple of times every single year. So if you sign up late, you'll get notified in a couple of months about the next time I host.
He just convinced you to stop, didn't he? Dude, you are literally the most delusional person on the planet if you think I would stop nutting off of a fucking YouTube video. Are you out of your mind? Dude, what the fuck? You are crazy.
The training. Back to the topic at hand. At the 1 month mark. Man, oh man, my favorite.
In order for me to agree with the premise of this video, I would have to have had a very different life. I have a very healthy relationship with sexuality and sexual desires. That is the issue here. I would have to have gone to like a fucking super religious school or something. Like, you know, things would have had to have turned out very differently. It's not his art. Read the description. What do you mean? If you're interested in doing art animation work for the channel or know someone who does, email me at improvementpill@gmail.com. That doesn't mean that he's not doing the animation.
Improvement pill.
It seems like all the videos have the same visual aesthetic. Oh no, it's not. Oh my God, he definitely is hiring someone. This phony ass motherfucker, bro. Yeah, he's outsourced it. Look at this. Oh, I feel so fucking...
Improvement pill here.
I feel so gross now. I feel like he just nutted. He just nutted all over me. You know what I mean?
Favorite thing about making it to the 1 month mark is the crystal clear mental clarity. You don't know what being smooth is like until you reach 1 month. The wit and mental acrobatics that I started being able to pull off during conversations would always come in at around this point in my journey. I've had a lot of students comment on my ability to go on 40-minute monologues without ever having to pause a single time to think about what to say next. That's what I mean by mental acrobatics. I found my...
Bitch, I talk for 10 fucking hours a day, okay? What the fuck are you saying? Like, it's not... It's called preparing? I mean, I don't get it. Sure, man, you fight your OCD, you feel better, you relapse. Synergene could go for 40 minutes without pausing, and you know he'd crank one out, too.
Myself having an instant, clever response to just about anything that people threw my way. I found myself being able to flirt with anyone without any hesitation. I found myself being able to have deep conversations with complete strangers in the matter of minutes. I was smooth as butter. But that's not all. It's around the 1 month mark where the benefits that I got a taste of on day 7 came back. My confidence was sky high. I started to believe I could do anything if I put my mind to it. I felt like I was in control of my life.
Yeah, except what did you apply yourself? Like, what did you do with all that energy? You made a NoFap channel. Like, what? Motherfucker's acting like he discovered the LK99, but this time it actually works. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you made a YouTube channel where you're talking about not masturbating.
Life and the...
You ever abstain for a few days to get that extra rope distance? Absolutely. Sometimes it happens on accident. Too tired, too busy. You know, life happens. But yeah, thumb stacking. Thumb maxing.
World around me. My productivity levels also skyrocketed. I was able to knock off all the tasks I knew I had to complete before noon. Essays, reading assignments, and the like were all done way before they were actually due. And unlike after day 7, this time the benefits actually stuck around. 2 months to 3 months. The majority of the most noticeable benefits plateaued at around the 1 month mark. To be honest, I don't think I ever got any more productive or confident past that point. But at around the 2 to 3 month mark, I always started doing a lot better with the ladies without even having to try. I remember going to a house party and I somehow ended up with a girl who was an entire head taller than me. She was so much taller that she had to bend down to kiss me. I felt like a kid being kissed goodbye on my first day of school. And this was definitely weird because
then I immediately went home and masturbated. I called him mommy accidentally and immediately went home and jerked off. I went back into the house where the party was and masturbated in the bathroom.
Girls who are even just a bit taller than me usually never bothered to look my way. But 2 to 3 months in, there I was. There was also another instance where I was invited to a karaoke event with like 10 to 15 other people, and a chick from across the room, the most attractive girl in that entire room, who all the other guys were trying to chat up, she had her friend come up to me and tell me that she wanted to get my number. These
Ain't no fucking way, dude. Yo. And then all the dudes in the room started clapping. Everyone started clapping. They said hip hip hooray. And then Post Malone was there. And he was like, "Bro, you should come on tour with me because you're so good at karaoke." I don't know why I said Post Malone. It was the first person that came to my mind. I really need to start listening to music. Chica says the cum build up like pheromones. And that girl, her name was Alberta Einstein.
These instances might have been caused by the fact that they saw me cracking jokes with everyone around me and the fact that I was having a lot of fun. I don't really know, because in all of these instances and the many others I haven't mentioned, I didn't really have to put in much effort. It almost seemed like they were magnetically attracted to me. It was almost like magic. The most success with girls I've ever had in my life was when I managed to reach the 2 to 3 month mark. And to be completely honest, I'm not really going to talk about the benefits I saw past this point for two main reasons. The first is that I didn't really see any more benefits. The confidence, the productivity, the mental acrobatics, the urge to socialize, and the general boost in levels of happiness all pretty much plateaued at this point. But don't take this the wrong way. This was more than enough. Life was good. Actually, no. Life was amazing.
Yeah, he's not talking about it past that point because he nutted.
Whenever I got this far. The second reason is that I've only ever managed to venture past 3 months without any form of ejaculation once in my entire life.
What? Bro! Yo! He nuts every 3 months. No! I was kidding! Bro, no, 3 months he probably has wet dreams. No, it's not a fucking seasonal fap, chatter. He probably tries to white knuckle his way out of not jerking off, but it doesn't matter. Post 3 months, he probably he's having wet dreams. That's the reality. The human body is a, imperfect vessel, but still some shit works, okay? It doesn't matter. No matter how hard you try to not nut, your body is going to nut eventually. You're going to have a wet dream.
Because I always managed to get a girlfriend before.
Perhaps the reason why I have never had a wet dream is because I have a healthy relationship with masturbation.
The 3 month mark was over. So I can't really tell you too much about the benefits of no nut after that. Plus, the one time I went past 3 months, it honestly just felt the same for me. But I will say one thing. If I relapsed at any point in time throughout this entire journey, I would lose practically all of the benefits overnight and have to start from day one all over again. And by relapse, I mean watching porn, masturbating, and ejaculating like that. Wet dreams and sex did not reset the benefits for me. It took me more than 3 years of trial and error to finally shake this addiction. If you want to learn more about the exact strategy I
Bro, showing strategy. Oh my God.
used to overcome it once and for all, make sure you
Didn't he say not to use those words? No, this is probably an older video.
sign up for my email list using the link down below so you can get news on my free training. Besides that, guys, I hope this video has been insightful and inspiring for some of
Why doesn't he just dude, I love this guy, okay? I fucking love this guy. I can't get enough of it. This is my new addiction.
improvement pill here.
Why are you watching this? What do you mean? This is the greatest thing I've ever seen, dude. His new shit is not banging, by the way. I think his he hit the incel vein and he farmed it, and now it's just he has simply fallen off a little bit because YouTube channels, ironically, don't let you make content for different fucking audiences. When you make one type of content, you can't retriangulate your YouTube. If you're a Minecrafter, you can't just all of a sudden stop making Minecraft videos and just move on. Only very few channels are able to do that successfully. Most people have to make a new channel. So what ended up happening for him, basically, because the algorithm is so locked in, what happened for him is he made a channel that, looks like self-improvement, but it seems like it really hit the content gold for incel shit. And he kept going back to like actually good self-improvement strategies, you know, truth about studying, anti-procrastination tips. And it doesn't seem to be hitting as hard as his like no nut shit. How creators make gaming and vlog channels and stuff. Yeah, I mean, a great example of this can be seen in my channel, where I have awesome fucking vlogs that I put on my channel, and those vlogs didn't used to do well at all, mostly because the channel was exclusively for political commentary.